as we all recall, last week, Patrick Howley came on this program. And I got to tell you something. When we were preparing for that interview, we caught that article the day before because we were alerted to it because Rush made some joke that was so embarrassing. I won't even repeat it. That referenced that article, and it was about staring at women. Should I just repeat that? Rush's joke was, from now on, folks, when a woman complains about you staring at her, you walk over to her and say, "Excuse me, but your breasts are staring at me." So he actually said this, like in human actual life said this. It's embarrassing to even repeat it or hear it. And then we knew that he was referencing an article about basically looking at women being banned by liberals. So we knew we needed to talk to this kid. And to be honest, I kind of thought, like, this kid is going to be like some jerky libertarian type that I met in college. And he's just going to, what he'll do is he'll find like one example, like the 6-year-old who was like suspended from school for sexual harassment last week or something totally ludicrous. He'll use that one example that's ludicrous, that has nothing to do with anything, but it is ludicrous. And then he'll just be like, "Come on, man." And basically he'll just be a troll. But what actually surprised me was that kid was really sincere and really upset that he might not be able to check out women in the subway anymore. And of course, he informed us that I think the most important revelation of that interview is that there is a silent majority of women that want to be harassed on the street. I didn't know that. I don't know the secret research backing that up. But apparently Rush also has access to this trove of research and some insight into women being looked at on the street. So as we continue on the right-wing creep beat, let's play that sound. I literally feel like an employee on To Catch a Predator when I do these stories. It's so frigging disturbing.
Rush, why don't you go take a seat over there?
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, what are you doing here? What's going on, Rush? All right, let's play this.
There are going to be some women. I can comp.
Now, I'm not going to, the point is, I don't know what that sound is, and it's creepy. Please, go ahead. All right.
I could compound the controversy right now with my next sentence, but there are going to be some women that are going to sign on for this because they're going to believe it. It's sexist. It'll be liberal women, and they're going to think this is a good thing. They don't like being stared at by men. It makes them nervous. So let's make it a crime or make it some kind of a taboo or something. But those women be a minority. Trust me. Trust me. The fact is, most men would love to be stared at by women. Just don't doubt me on this. And my guess is that most women actually are intrigued by it and have developed techniques and skills for dealing with it. They're born with those too. Don't doubt me. This all works out.
Okay.
I just want to say that we heard something like this with Patrick Howley when he called upon Nixon's silent majority.
Yeah, right.
Where conservatives, they somehow think that they know what this silent majority of women want. Most women want this, but they're not out there saying they want it, but we know what they want.
Well, Rush has a special X-ray vision and insight on women. It's like, you remember that there was some terrible movie called like What Women Really Want or What Women Really Think, where a guy can hear women's inner thoughts. And that's what Rush has, obviously. Of course, nothing would ever involve actually listening to what women say. The countless women who say, "No, I prefer to not be harassed in my workplace. No, I prefer to not be yelled at on the street. No, I prefer to not be stared at and eyeballed in the subway." All of that is a passing blip in the projection and fantasy of the right-wing universe and Rush Limbaugh. And, I just want to say, when he says, and women have this all figured out. Now, let's go down the spectrum of what people are talking about. Because as soon as when I know about women who do work on these issues, and they talk about harassment and street culture and things like this, and they're not talking about not being able to flirt with men or any other nonsense that these people have in their heads about what they're talking about. They're talking about cultures of harassment on the street, cultures of harassment in workplaces. And what are cultures of harassment and power dynamics connect to? They connect with things like sexual assault, rape, lack of advancement, dehumanization. So while Rush is talking about his psychic fantasy about the silent majority of women that Patrick Howley also talked about, we know that there is a rape crisis in this country. We know that in the real world, according to research from the National Research Council, there is an alarming underreport of rapes in America. We know that when women actually talk about their experience of being checked out by Patrick Howley and Rush Limbaugh, they don't say, oh my God, I don't want anybody to ever think I'm attractive or ever have any type of dating experience or anything. They're talking about the experience of somebody on a street corner thinking that they have power over you to make a comment on your body and a sexual proposition to you. And I got to tell you, I know he says men would love to be checked out. I actually don't think that most men would want to feel that they might be in some type of physical danger, or that they're just frankly being disrespected and mocked on the street. In fact, when men do feel that they're being disrespected and mocked on the street, that usually leads to a lot of conflict. That leads to fights. What are you looking at? And when you add that dynamic with all of the things that we know about sexual assault in this country, all of the things that we know about the realities facing women, to go off into some petty fantasy universe like the world is just one big scene out of Animal House is delusional. It's pathetic, and it's not the cause. So I want to be really clear. So you idiots don't conflate this on the right. It's not the cause, but it is the handmaiden. It is the facilitator of, yes, a rape culture, which if you have any concern about living in an open, democratic, and actually sexually liberated and open society, you need to care about. So wake the fuck up. I don't know why. I don't know if Rush ever deserves that level of serious reading, but it really does just get disgusting and ridiculous.